Anyone with a basic understanding of geology is probably familiar with conglomerate. It's a coarse-grained sedimentary rock formed when rounded pebbles and gravel are cemented together by fine materials such as sand, clay, or calcite even. But what if I told you that humans have unintentionally created an entirely new kind of rock? As our plastic waste continues to accumulate in the environment and interact with heat and natural sediments, it can become fused together into a bizarre material known as plastiglomerate. Stick around to find out how this new rock forms and what it says about humanity's impact on the planet. So there's an article published by the New York Times back in 2014 that details the discovery and naming of this rather unusual material. The article, titled Future Fossils, Plastic Stones, is a fascinating read, and I will link it in the description below. According to the article, plastiglomerate was first discovered in 2006 by sea captain and oceanographer Charles Moore while surveying plastic debris that had washed up on a beach in Hawaii. Among the litter, he noticed several strange rocks, coated and fused with plastics. He photographed the material and collected a number of samples, although the significance of the discovery was not immediately recognized. That changed in 2012 when Patricia Corcoran, an earth scientist at Western University, invited Moore to give a lecture on plastic pollution. During his presentation, Moore included images of the unusual plastic rocks in one of his slides, despite not having a name for them at the time. Intrigued by what she saw, Dr. Corcoran traveled to Hawaii to examine these strange human-made stones for herself. She and her colleagues sampled several locations along the same beach and discovered additional examples of the material. Initially, one possible explanation was that lava from nearby volcanic activity had melted the plastic and fused it with surrounding sediments and rock fragments. However, the evidence did not support this idea. Lava flow had not reached the beach for more than a century, whereas the widespread use of plastics did not begin until the mid-20th century. The timeline simply did not match up. Interviews with local residents pointed to a much more likely explanation: campfires and waste burning along the shoreline. So plastic debris caught in these fires would melt and mix with surrounding sediments and shells and wood fragments, pieces of coral and rock before cooling and solidifying. This marked the first documented occurrence of plastiglomerate, but what exactly is it? So based on the scientific literature, plastiglomerate can be defined as a hybrid human-made rock composed of melted plastic fused together with natural materials such as sand, shells, wood, coral, and rock fragments. It forms when heat from campfires, or refuse fires, melt plastics, allowing it to flow into nearby areas where it picks up sediments, and when it cools, it solidifies, eventually forming a new rock. So since Charles Moore's initial discovery in 2006 and Dr. Cochrane's work several years later, plastiglomerate has been reported from numerous locations around the world, highlighting just how deeply human activity is becoming embedded in the geological record. So, is this recorded in Jamaica? I don't know. I've never really come across any documented information, but I wouldn't be surprised, So why is any of this significant? Well, Plastiglomerate is more than just a geological curiosity. It serves as a stark reminder of the scale of humanity's impact on the planet. Plastic has become so widespread that it is now finding its way into the rock record, where traces of our civilization may persist for a very long time. In that sense, Plastiglomerate is a warning. It reminds us that pollution is not simply a temporary environmental problem that disappears once it is out of our sight. In some cases, our waste can become part of the geological record itself. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you may remember that I produced an 18-part Geology Foundation series. In the final video of that series, I discussed the Anthropocene and shared my thoughts on the subject. And personally, I believe there is value in continuing the discussion about formally recognizing the Anthropocene within the geological timescale. And to me, it represents not only an acknowledgement of humanity's role as a driver of large-scale global change, but also an acceptance of the responsibilities that come with the influence. Whether or not the Anthropocene is ultimately added to the geological timescale remains to be seen. Regardless of the outcome, I believe the concept itself encourages us to think more seriously about our relationship with the planet and the legacy we are leaving behind. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Please take care.